Growing up, I was always told family was everything. Family is there to support you, guide you, and love you. Up until this point, this had all been true. Hi, my name is Yaroslav, and this is my coming out story. Before we dive into the story, let me tell you about my family. I am the oldest child. Rihanna, my sister, and I are 11 years apart. Nathan, my brother, and I are 12 years apart. My parents are hardworking people who immigrated from Mexico to provide a better life for my siblings and me. When I was 11, I had to take care of my sister, who was around 5 months old, for the entire summer. Whenever they got sick, I would have to stay home and miss school and take care of them because they could not go to daycare. It was as if I was a second mother to them. I loved them to death, so I did not mind. This was my family. We could rely on each other and appreciate each other up until May 6, 2018, when all this went out the window. It was a Sunday evening, and my mom, sister, and I were in my room. Rihanna was playing a game on the Wii. My mom and I were both laying on my bed, catching up and talking about my day at work. Back then, I worked at a pharmacy, and we were always crazy busy. I had been holding a secret from my parents, which I wanted to tell them, but I was afraid of how they would react. My parents had recently started going to church. Their church, unfortunately, preached hate towards the LGBTQIA+ community. For some reason, on that Sunday evening, I had a gut feeling that I should tell them. My heart was racing and my palms started to sweat. "Mom," I said with a shaky low voice. I looked at her and she gave me a confused stare back. "Yeah," she said, confused. I could not bring myself to say anything for the next minute. I tried, but no sounds were coming out of my mouth. I was really scared. All I could do was stare at her. It was as if she could read what I was trying to say. Her dark brown eyes just stared at me. "Mom, I like girls," I said quietly, almost whispering. "What?" I could not tell if she had not heard me or if she was surprised. "I like girls. I'm a lesbian," I said a little louder. She just stared at me in disbelief. Her tears just kept coming and coming. They would not stop. I could not hold back my tears any longer. The room was filled with silence. Had no idea what she was thinking. All I could hear were her sniffles as she tried to pull herself together. "Mom," I said, staring at her while her tears were running down her face. My mom said nothing. All she did was cry and stare at the wall that was in front of us. This went on for another 5 minutes or so. "How do you know?" she asked demandingly. I had been talking to this girl from work. Her name was Sam. Had hung out with her a few times by this point. Whenever I got the chance to talk about her at home, I would. I always thought she was so awesome and cool that I wanted to share that with my mom. "Well, there's this girl at work. I like her more than a friend," I said, trying to stop myself from crying so I could speak. "Is it Sam?" she asked, still not staring at me. "Yes." "You don't know what you want. You're still so young. She's just probably using your friendship to get to you as more than friends. Can't you see?" she said angrily, still looking away. I stayed silent. She was trying to make sense of the situation and was trying to justify her thinking. "How come before she had a boyfriend and now she doesn't? What a coincidence. This is just a phase. You're confused. You still have your life ahead of you. Why do you want to ruin it? What are you doing? You don't know what you want." She kept nodding her head from side to side, still not looking at me and crying. "No, Mom, this is who I am," I said with a shaky voice, trying to hold tears back. "I have failed you," she said it, even more tears coming down her face. "No, Mom, you did nothing wrong. You're the best mother I could have asked for. I have failed you. I am sorry I wasn't there for you when you were younger. This is why you're like this. It's because I did not provide the love you needed, so now you have to seek another in another woman." "Mom, you did show your love. Stop. You did nothing wrong." "I have failed you." That was all my mom kept saying. I could not stop crying. My worst fear came true. What if my family stopped loving me? After I told my mom, she did not look at me. I could tell she was disgusted. I thought, "Stupid heart, why do you have to make things difficult?" My heart was heavy and in pain. "Have you told your dad?" "No, but I'm going to now." My room was on the second floor of the house. I headed towards the stairs. I wiped my tears and took a deep breath. Would my dad react the same way? My heart started racing again. My dad was in the living room watching a show. The way our living room was set up was there was a section on the left-hand side near the sliding glass door, a love seat on the right-hand side near a window, and a recliner towards the end of the living room area between two other couches. My dad was sitting on the sectional, so I decided to sit on the recliner. He could visibly see that I had been crying. He paused the show. Are you okay? What's wrong? I have something to tell you, I said as I started tearing up a little. Okay, what is it? I like girls, I said quietly. What? How can this be? But you've liked boys before. He was right. I had liked boys before. I was still trying to figure it out myself. All I knew was that I liked this girl from work and I wanted to have a relationship with her. I like both girls and boys. So you're bi? At this time, my mom had come down from my room and sat on the love seat. She was still crying. My dad stared at her and then back at me. I felt so bad for making her cry. What kind of daughter would make her mother cry? Yes, I answered. You don't know what you want. You're just confused. How do you know? Well, there's this girl at work. She's just using your friendship to take advantage of you. She knows you're vulnerable and is using you. Just like my mom, my dad wanted to rationalize the situation, so I just sat in silence. At this point, I had started to cry again. Unlike my mom, my dad was looking at me when he was talking to me. This is not you. What are you doing? You're going to ruin your life. We know you. This girl, she doesn't know you. She's trying to manipulate you. She's trying to get in your head. You haven't liked any other girls before. Yes, but I have never told you, I whispered. Who? There was this girl in high school. We were really good friends, and I started developing feelings for her. At this point, my dad had cut me off. You're just confused. This is a phase. You know you're going to hell for this, right? What is our family going to say? They're going to tell you that you're an abomination. You know what? I don't want you hanging out with my kid around your friends. From now on, your friends can't come over. I don't think I feel comfortable leaving you with the kids, especially Brianna. What was my dad saying or trying to imply? That I would do something to my sister? How could he think that? I was 19 when I came out to my parents. I had taken care of Brianna for the last 8 years. This hurt me. I didn't even want to look at my dad. I just kept crying. You know this is going to affect every aspect of your life. What are they going to say about your mom? You're just confused. I turned to look at my mom as she was just staring at my dad with tears in her eyes. She said nothing. Why wouldn't she look at me? I was still me. The fact that I like a girl changed nothing. I was so upset and mad they had reacted this way. So they could just stop saying these hurtful things, I stayed silent. They never once told me they still loved me. We just left it with my dad having the last word. I proceeded to head to my room and lay on my bed. I could not stop crying. I had a heavy heart that night because I thought my family didn't love me anymore. I thought I wasn't enough. I started to worry about what other people would say about my mom and dad. Would they judge them? I felt so bad. Once I was able to sort of calm myself down, I called Sam, who I had just asked to be my girlfriend a couple of days before coming out to my parents. She was so kind and patient. She was there with me every step of the way to pick up the broken pieces. She loved me for every part of me. She never judged me and made me feel safe. She was all I needed then and continues to be all I need now. Coming out can be a scary thing for some people. At least it was for me. Everything works out the way it's supposed to, even though the beginning might seem hard. If you surround yourself with people that love and support you, you will make it through. Fast forward to now, almost 3 years later, my parents still don't approve of Sam, but have taken baby steps towards our relationship. It took a few months, but my family finally said they loved me. I happily said I do on August 5th, 2020, when I married my best